What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? You know, I love Martin for doing it. I love that old show for a lot of different things. So anyway, yeah, I know we skipped right through the intro, but I don't need that shit. I'm going straight for the jugular. So, what did begging the government do for black people? I want to know because I'm pretty sure a lot of them will say, "Well, shoot, what are you talking about? We got our rights, we got protection." No, you didn't because you're still being killed by these police. You still say you're being like segregated and they don't want to fuck with you and all types of stuff. So, to that excuse, the only thing I can say is,
"We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again."
this is how I feel about my people. This is how I feel about my people. This shit is crazy. It's like, so you were being hung and killed by Democrats. Then in the 60s, Lyndon B. Johnson offered you, you know what I'm saying, whatever. And then you lost all of your stuff from the same people that were filibustering your civil rights the whole time. So at the end of it, the people that were hanging and lynching you, you went to vote for.
"We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again."
Now, see, life, better yet, society is about business. It's about structure and order. It's about having things in order. Okay. When you guys were, segregating, you had your own stuff. We had never heard about Crips and Bloods. We had never heard about and I'm not saying that there wasn't pimps. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying it wasn't glorified. There was no black exploitation of pimps and hoes. You would have never had a Too Short back in the 30s representing the people. Yeah, we know who, Calvin is. We know what he does, but he doesn't represent the conglomerate of black people. Why, soon as you went to the Democrats, because remember, it's all in 64. Okay, 6 more years later, you get black exploitation given to you by the Democrats because they're the ones who run Hollywood. So your image went from suit and ties to jive talk, pimping your women, and selling drugs.
"We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again."
Now, I'm going to fast forward and I'm going to go back. Now, the dude, Joe Biden's son, that's on trial right now, his lawyer just quit. So your dad's the president. You guys are Democrats. You're in control of everything, and the lawyer still skipped on you. For black people that voted Joe Biden, the only thing I got to say is,
"We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again."
Now, let's go back. But yeah, we can go to Larry Elder on the Breakfast Club. He's like, "Oh, you should have." Charlamagne's like, "Oh, you should have got your nigga wake up call when something something," and Larry Elder's like, "Well, when Joe Biden said if you didn't vote for him, you wasn't black, and he's not black at all. That should have been your nigga wake up call." And all I got to say to that is,
"We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again."
let's talk about percentages. Okay, so you have black billionaires now. Everybody's gloating and bragging about it. They're like, "Yeah, this is great. This is wonderful. Yes, look, black people are doing things." Okay. Before the black billionaires, you were 13%. After the black billionaires, you're still 13%.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
Nah, it's white people. It's the police. It's the government. They're out to get us. If you tally up all of the police murders of black people since civil rights, because we don't count back in the day. We're not going to count that. No. Since civil rights, it's not going to add up to the cliques that do murder, let alone the Bloods, the Crips, the GDs, and Vice Lords. We're not even going to talk about them. Their murders are way over that. But just the cliques are outdoing the police. All the cliques, all the crews, the Get Fly crew, the Fuck Your Bitch clique, all of those have more murders than the police.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
Now, see, before y'all did that marching and got y'all rights, black people never bragged about crime. We never bragged about crime. We always had grandma. You know what I'm saying? I don't even hear white people talk about, and no offense to them, but I'm saying I don't even hear anybody besides Negroes and Latinos that talk about Big Mama. We've always had respect for our elders. You know what I'm saying? We never had, like, we was never wilding like that. Okay, now, and I can't really blame them when your grandma's 30 years old. But what I'm saying is, we never looked at crime like that. See, when they say, oh, you used to be able to leave your front door unlocked when you went to bed, we were talking about black neighborhoods. We're not talking about, we're not white. How the fuck would I know what they're doing in their neighborhoods? I'm not white. I'm a Negro. So when Negroes are telling Negroes, yo, we used to not even leave our front doors locked. We used to leave them unlocked. Nobody was stealing that. Okay, why? Because there was respect, morals, principle, and order. Okay, all that goes out the window once y'all march and start hanging with these Democrats. Am I lying? From the 60s, We Shall Overcome, Suits and Ties. Didn't y'all go to Blaxploitation? Didn't y'all go to Heron? The Players Ball? So, for that, I must say,
we're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
how many of us know about a stepping stone? You just need a leg up real quick, and then you're good. Okay. So before becoming Democrats, we had our own towns and cities. As soon as we go up there and beg these motherfuckers for some help just to get the Klan off our ass, for some weird reason, all the trade skills go out the window. All the building skills go out the window. And now we just want to be best friends with the same Democrats who are hanging us, filibustering us, not liking us, segregated from us, shot down every civil rights bill that we threw at them.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
Whatever happened to your Malcolm X's and your Martin Luther Kings? Whatever happened to the people that were talking to you before you were dead? So you used to have Malcolms and Martins. You used to have preachers talking to y'all before you get beat, before you get killed, trying to show you how to prevent that, trying to change the system around you. Nowadays, ever since y'all been Democrats, you got Benjamin Crump. You got Al Sharptons. You got people that come around after the murder has already happened.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
See, that number I'm talking about is that number that y'all did when y'all played yourselves. Y'all cold from Martin like a mother. That's where I got that shit from. We're sorry. there's no recent thoughts here right now, and we don't see any coming later. It's like that's our people. That's our people right now. Think about it. Think about it. Before y'all went Democrat, y'all weren't no damn scholars. Y'all weren't running around talking a bunch of useless information. You notice all of these scholars, they could talk about Egypt all day. They could talk about Islam all day. They could talk about Hebrews all day. They could talk about the Moors. They could talk about whatever they want. But they don't never talk about any of these people's building that they actually did.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
That's what black people need to do. Y'all need to try that call again because you left it in the 60s and look where you're at. What are you talking about, black people? Black people are still 13%. There is no way that you can pick 6 bourgeoisie boule niggers in front of me and tell me that we're doing something. We're not. Mother's like, Magic Johnson just bought the Washington Commanders. Why do you think their name's being turned back to the Redskins? You think I'm stupid? You think I don't know that some of these boule niggas are actually waking up and they're like, ah, shit, we better motherfucking clean this up before it's too late. That's all he's doing. But then you got to think about people like Tyler Perry. He wore a dress for you. He wore a dress for you. Medea. Y'all talking about rituals and shit? No, he openly did it on purpose. Before he even got to the big screen, he was already doing it on the theater stage. He put that character out. He invented that character himself. So he knew what he was trying to do. He's trying to get into the industry. Check this out, player. You want it for $2 billion now. We need 3. Oh, this is travesty. This is wrong. No, this is...
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
This shit is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. How do you go from suit and ties to, oh no, that's trying to be like the white man, to where y'all sagging your pants, where you got that from the hillbilly who is the white man, because that's the first white man that you met. You didn't meet no other dignified white man. Remember, you say you from the slave ship, you from the plantation. So the first one you were introduced to was the hillbilly, sagging pants, incest, wild, shooting guns, ignorant white person, right? Okay. What I'm trying to say at the end of all of this is once you got your rights, because remember, you already had your rights. Once you got your government assistance, like the protection, right? Why didn't you go back to your cities and towns? Why did all these black cities and, the South started to get deserted? Why is that? If you won, you got your point. Because that's not what the Boulets were trying to do. They were trying to get you back on the plantation. Remember, all you did was take your nigger dollars, however you want to call it, however you want to slice it, nigga, that's the same fucking thing. You want to say colored, you want to say black folks, you want to say Negroes, whatever. You took those dollars and then you start spending it in their establishments. So for whatever marching and rights that you were trying to get, only thing I can say to that is,
we're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
Let me ask you something that these Boule elders don't teach us. Why were they wearing picket signs? Why were they having picket signs and wearing and talking about, I just want a job, when we weren't fully integrated yet? Why? How did the black people make it so far that they're able to march and ask for these jobs? How are they alive? If there's no food, there's no business, there's no market, how are these black people alive to be able to march down the street? And we're in the South in this hot ass fucking weather for these rights. If they don't have no money, where did they sleep? What clothes are they wearing? How do they have instruments to make jazz and blues? How is all that happening if they're segregated at the time? Because you're not going to tell me that jazz was created in the 50s. I'll slap the shit out of you. So Harlem is segregated. There's no white people in Harlem. How does Duke Ellington have these instruments?
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
Oh, but that's the South. It's the South that was segregated. It wasn't up north. Okay. How did the goddamn guitar get in Muddy Waters' hand? One more time. Fuck it. These motherfuckers are slow.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
All civil rights in the 60s did was get you niggas to let women work, which is fine. Let them not discriminate by religion. And as far as race, the whole stupid part about that is you never had to integrate with them. If we would have never integrated with them, do you know how great America would be right now? Do you see these Native Americans, right? You see them, right? They're separated from the U.S. government. Just like you were, right? Until these college kids, these bootleg little motherfucking Masons, took us on a fucking joyride. So for that, I have to say,
we're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
And that's what black people need to do. Y'all need to try y'all call again. Y'all really do. Because I know it sounded good. But for y'all to have all this Islam and Christianity, and then after the march to come 60 years or 80 years later, whatever you want to call it, and for y'all to be less religious than ever, and for your people that are religious to be Herbert Turtle bitch-made ass people. These ain't no motherfucking, you don't see the churches marching in the streets no more. That was a preacher marching in the streets. Martin Luther King is a reverend. Malcolm X is an imam. These motherfuckers are reverends. Where do you see that in the streets now with you Democrat motherfucker? Where do you see it, period? So for taking your manhood in your nutsack, all I can say is this.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
I can do this shit all day. I can literally do this shit all fucking day because... And this might be my new shit. This might be a new segment. You know what I'm saying? Where it's called We're Sorry. This might be this Eureka. This might be a new thing. This might be the new thing that I'm doing called We're Sorry. Where we just gonna start pointing out all the stupid shit that people are still falling for that don't make no fucking sense. Now look, you don't want to get on the Indian Trail, fine. Keep your bitch ass on happy grounds. I don't have no problem with that. But what I can say is this. If you talking about representing for Negroes, black people, African American, whatever the fuck you want to call them, because you ain't no fucking African. I can drop you off in Africa right now, snatch your phone, nigga. You don't know where you're going, what you're doing. So shut the fuck up. You can't even read the shit. You better be in an Americanized part of Africa. But who said that's where I'm dropping you off? I'm dropping your monkey ass off in the middle of Chad, nigga. Figure it out. Now, I'm saying that to say this. Your business is here. The government you arguing with is here. You ain't arguing with no African government because they wouldn't even listen to you. They wouldn't. They'd be like, where have you been? You haven't fought with us. Where were y'all? Y'all didn't fight. Exactly. We sold you, motherfucker, years ago. Business is business. Why are you begging, crying about, oh, I forgot to give you movie. The Roots. Oh, it's sad. Oh, they beat my back. Funny thing is, for a white man beat you, black man beat you. Yeah, because he got you and captured you and threw you on the fucking boat. So for that fucking fake ass story.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
I'm talking about
person that we're rejecting. You did say
I'm
nice
talking
guy.
about it being fake on the grounds of them saying it was white people. You know what I'm saying? They laughing at that. They laugh at it as, oh, you was just the great unstoppable white man just comes to hot ass Africa with malaria and shit. And his white skin, he just walks through Africa. It's nothing. It's 100 degrees. It's 100. 2,000 is motherfucking degrees. Fucking fuck Arizona frying an egg. No, nigga, you can literally cook a steak out here. A whole fucking cow. You can literally just cook that motherfucker right there. That's how the Africans started the first fire. They didn't even start that motherfucker. You just let the dead cattle sit out there and the nigga just start roasting. Motherfucker, he was like, that smell pretty good. Okay. Hot motherfucking desert. White dude just walking through like it's nothing. White people in Africa, especially in Egypt, when they go on them tours, bro, even with the umbrella, they sitting in the shade. How the fuck are you sitting in the shade with an umbrella?
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
That's another reason you know it's stupid as hell to think Egyptians or Hebrews are white. You are smoking crack. These fucking Ashkenazi motherfuckers could never be fucking real Jews or Hebrews. How the fuck did you survive out there? Newsflash, dickhead. There is no black suit and that big ass hat to protect you back then. They didn't have that shit. Oh, well, the Arabs got the right. That's not what the Hebrews say they is. Oh, they had hats on. Oh, okay. Well, still, how'd you survive with all that fucking clothing on? You'd have cooked in that motherfucker.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
There ain't no fucking white Arabians. There ain't no white Hebrews. There ain't no white Egyptians. And it never will be. That skin is too fucking white and does not receive enough, I believe it's pheomelanin. I believe. I think whatever one's the outer layer to be able to survive out there. It's impossible. Motherfucker, I've had hot days in Georgia and in El Cajon and San Diego. And trust me, El Cajon is like a desert. And I was feeling it like, yo, it's hot. Then I'm talking about that annoying hot where it's just like, that's El Cajon. It's on your back. El Cajon is like a baby Arizona. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and that's me. I'm a Negro, melanated being. And even I'm like, yo, it's fucking hot out here. White people would have died. But yo, where did you go once you begged the government? What did it do? What did it do at the end? What I see came from the government is weakness. The urge to not want to build, the urge to not want to unite, the lust to just run off in Wonderland. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what y'all did. That's what the white society was to y'all. It was like Wonderland. Even though y'all had your own wonders. But they put you in their program, you forgot all about it. Plus, they killed off all your elders. It's funny that the older people at that time were against the civil rights marches. They didn't want to be called black, and they were against these civil rights marches. And why did the civil rights leaders have to get the children? a motherfucker. Straight Freddy Krueger the shit out of y'all. Nobody can deny that. Nobody can deny that. Straight Freddy Krueger the shit out of y'all. I'm going to leave it like this. Politic all you want. Teach all you want. That's great. You know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking those. Educate, reach people. But always remember, somebody had to drop the ball. Somebody had to drop it. And for some reason, they did all that marching, all that pushing. And these are the same niggas who didn't bring up none of our 50,000 patents. They talked about land loans and land deeds, and they talked about all this different stuff, but they didn't talk about all the stuff that we did. And ironically, Martin Luther King went to college. Read up the history about his parents and who they connected to. They Mason link. They Eastern Star link. It was radical Hebrews that tried to kill Martin Luther King's mom. You wonder why? I think that's before the 501c3. So those were the radical Hebrews. Those were the ones just reading the book, the freedom fighters, the ones that were just going out there trying to expose the truth. You see how watered down that shit became. Even the 12 tribes, that shit's not with the original script. The church fathers or whatever they called them, that's not in there. That don't come till later. But hey, that's neither here nor there. What I do know is this. What did begging the government in the 60s do for black people? Got them into the minstrel show. Y'all got out the minstrel show and they put you right back in it. When y'all was in Harlem and doing your own thing, and Tulsa and all that stuff, y'all were making good and y'all were building good and all on your own. You didn't ask them for nothing. Like literally your forefathers knew how to create cement. They knew what elements to use to mix to create cement. They knew how to chop down trees. They knew how to do all this stuff. Swelling, welding, all that stuff. And then this white dude takes all these crafts that you learned on your own due to you being the worker here. And then he makes these universities and these trade schools and all this stuff. He just takes all the science and splits it up. You know, like how they took the attributes of God and split that up. And that's why everybody confused and don't understand stuff. But hey, I say all that to say this. How did that happen to you? Maybe because you went against your elders and you fucking went with the bootleg government. But I don't blame you, because if you notice, they only indoctrinated the children. Negroes in America.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
Y'all gotta wake the fuck up, man. Y'all gotta wake the fuck up. This shit is not gonna keep coming around and around and around for no reason. And the more the wise ones die off or get killed off, we're gonna be lost in this game forever. So all I'm saying is see it happen. Ghost, shit's ridiculous.